lambda is equal to 1. For lambda is equal to 10, because it is occurring only once, therefore algebraic multiplicity is 1, and corresponding to which we have only one linearly independent eigenvector, therefore the geometric multiplicity is 1. For the eigenvalue lambda is equal to 1, you can see that as an eigenvalue it is repeated 2 times, therefore the algebraic multiplicity is 2 as it is occurring twice, and the geometric multiplicity is what? It is a count of linearly independent eigenvectors, and we have seen that there are 2 linearly independent eigenvectors corresponding to the eigenvalue lambda is equal to 1, therefore the geometric multiplicity is 2. So by doing this example, I think you must be able to find out the algebraic and geometric multiplicity of the matrix, given matrix. Now next is the Cayley-Hamiltonian theorem. That is one of the important theorem in the course linear algebra and in the other branches of mathematics and in engineering. There are so many applications based on the Cayley-Hamiltonian theorem. The major application is using this theorem you can find the powers of the higher powers of the matrix, or you can easily simplify, or the matrix represented by the higher power polynomial given in terms of matrix A, you can easily evaluate the matrix using Cayley-Hamiltonian theorem. So the Cayley-Hamiltonian theorem states that every square matrix satisfies its own characteristic equation. Let us try to understand what does it says. Every square matrix satisfies its own characteristic equation. So for given a matrix A, what is the characteristic equation? It is a polynomial of degree n. So when you substitute, that is, if you consider the corresponding matrix equation for A, then also it is satisfied. That is, if A be a matrix of order n, then its characteristic equation is of the form lambda to the power n plus a1 lambda to the power n minus 1 up to lambda and then constant term is equal to 0. That is the polynomial in lambda of degree n. Here a1, a2, an are constants. Then this theorem tells us that this equation is also satisfied, that is a to the power n plus a1 a to the power n minus 1 plus up to an minus 1 a plus an into identity matrix is equal to 0. So every square matrix satisfies its own characteristic equation. And one of the most important application of the Cayley-Hamiltonian theorem is to find the inverse of the matrix if exist then. So how one can find the inverse of the given matrix? So if this is the characteristic equation of the matrix, then by Cayley-Hamiltonian theorem it is satisfied by the matrix A. So we have this relation, and as you can see here, if there is a constant term, if there is a non-zero constant term in the characteristic equation of the given matrix, then 0 cannot be a root, therefore 0 cannot be a eigenvalue, and if 0 is not eigenvalue of the matrix, then matrix is an invertible matrix. So multiplying this relation both sides by the matrix A inverse, we get, and then equating or writing the expression for A inverse, we get the following, that is A inverse is given by this expression. What is this expression? It is in the 1 less power expression. So using this way you can find the inverse, that we will see systematically by doing an example. And the other applications are, you can easily evaluate the polynomial in A given in higher powers, and many times we use the Cayley-Hamiltonian theorem in finding the higher powers of matrices, because in many applications we need to consider the higher powers of the matrices, and they are not easy to find out, but using such applications you can usually compute. So let us take the example based on Cayley-Hamiltonian theorem. In example, first of all, we are asked to verify the Cayley-Hamiltonian theorem, and using this theorem we are asked to compute the inverse for the given matrix A, and hence finally we have to determine the matrix represented by the polynomial in A, and the polynomial in A is in the highest power 8, that is 8th degree polynomial in A. So let us see how the Cayley-Hamiltonian theorem help us to find out A inverse, and in order to find the matrix represented by the polynomial given in higher powers of A. So let us start. The matrix given is this one. So first of all we find out the characteristic equation, and characteristic equation for the 3 by 3 matrices is given by lambda cube minus trace of A lambda squared plus m of A lambda minus determinant of A is equal to 0. When you find trace of A, you will get 5. M of A is a sum of all minors of the elements on the principal diagonal. So after calculating the M of A, you will get the value -1, and the determinant here is -37, so that ultimately we have the characteristic equation lambda cube minus 5 lambda squared minus lambda plus 37. As I said, by applying the knowledge of school algebra you can solve this polynomial. So in the case of 3 degree polynomial, the roots must be the divisors of the constant term, and here 37 is a prime number, so it has only 2 divisors, 1 and 37, therefore 1 must be a root. That is not our interest, but after finding the characteristic equation, we want to verify the Cayley-Hamiltonian theorem, which says that a cube minus 5a squared minus a plus 37, if you replace a lambda by a in the equation, then also the equation would get satisfied. So here let us see. So let us evaluate the expression on the left hand side. A cube minus 5a squared minus a plus 37i is equal to 0. So for that we need to find out power a squared, then power a cube. So let us calculate a squared. A squared is a into a. Here the knowledge of matrix multiplication is required. So matrix a into a. So how do we find the product of two matrices? So product of two matrices again is a matrix of here, and here the resultant matrix will be of the same order. So we consider for the first entry, top left corner entry, we will start from the first row of the first matrix and first column of the second matrix. That will give you the first entry, then first row, second column, first row, third column, second row, first column, and so on you can calculate. So here the first entry is 1 into 1 plus 3 into 0 plus 2 into -2, so that you will get the first entry 1 into 1 plus -4, that is -3. Similarly you can calculate all the entries, and we have the a squared. A squared is this one, -3 2 24 -8 5 16 -12 -2 and 25. So here a cube is equal to a squared into a. By mistake I forgot to write it down here, a squared into a. So a cube is a squared into a, so we multiply, or a into a squared, so a into a squared, and by multiplying these two matrices we get a cube is equal to -51 7 122 -40 -13 84 -62 -9 and 93. So we have now a squared and a cube both, so using which we try to verify the relation. So a cube minus 5a squared minus a plus 37i, this is the value of a cube minus 5 times a squared minus a plus 37 times the identity matrix. When you adds up all these quantities, you know the addition and scalar multiplication of matrices. So when you adds up this all four matrices, you will get an answer 0. Thus the Cayley-Hamilton theorem is verified. Now our next task was to find out the A inverse with the help of Cayley-Hamiltonian theorem. So what we will do, so here this is the characteristic equation that is satisfied by the matrix. So on this equation we multiply both the sides A inverse, we get this relation, that is why A inverse exists. The explanation is given that there is no constant term in the characteristic equation, therefore no chance of zero eigenvalue, and hence the matrix is invertible. So A inverse exists. So by multiplying A inverse both the sides of the relation 1, we get the relation 2. A inverse is equal to 1 over 37 times minus A squared plus 5A plus I. So here, in order to calculate or determine the A inverse, we need the A squared and A, and simple arithmetic is required. So we have the value of A squared and A both. So by doing it, here A inverse is 1 over 37, and by doing the arithmetic of matrices, you will get the value of A inverse, and the value of the A inverse is given by 1 over 37, 9, 13, minus 14, 8, minus 9, 4, 2, 7, 1. So this is how we compute the A inverse using the Cayley-Hamiltonian theorem. So what we will do, what are the basic steps for finding the A inverse? So whatever the characteristic equation you will get, here in our case the characteristic equation was this one. So in place of lambda we substitute matrix A, and will make a matrix polynomial or matrix equation. We get this equation here. Here in the equation we have a non-zero constant multiple of identity matrix, that is here 37. Therefore there must be the A inverse. We have the A inverse. So multiplying A inverse both sides and writing the resultant equation for A inverse, you will get some this kind of relation, that is A inverse of this, and then by doing the simple arithmetic of matrices, you will get the value of inverse. This is the summary. Then the third thing which was asked to find out is to find the matrix represented by the given polynomial in A which is of degree 8. So let us just simplify the given expression in the A. So let us take A to the power 5 common from first 4 terms, so that we have A to the power 5 A cube minus 5A squared minus A plus 37I, and in the bracket what quantity we obtained here, that is what by relation number 1 it is equal to 0 matrix. Similarly you can adjust the other terms and we get this kind of adjustment, that is by taking the A common, we have A cube minus 5A squared minus A plus 37I, and for the adjustment the remaining terms which was required for plus and minus, we kept here minus 2A squared plus 4A plus 3I, and these two values in the brackets are 0. Therefore the whole polynomial of degree 8 reduces to the degree 2. That means expression in which the highest power of A is 2, and that is easy to compute, and that we have already obtained A squared. So just by doing the arithmetic of matrices, we get the simple answer in the simplest way. So this is how the Cayley-Hamiltonian theorem is helpful to us to find out the inverse of the matrix. That is the major application of the Cayley-Hamiltonian theorem. So it is worth to remind the Cayley-Hamiltonian theorem for the case of square matrices. The statement is very important. It is every square matrix satisfies its own characteristic equation. Now I would like to give some different cases for the eigenvalues and eigenvectors, that if you are given the matrix of order 3, then it may have all the eigenvalues are repeated, it may have all the eigenvalues are distinct, some of the eigenvalues are repeated and distinct eigenvalues. All three may be the case. Also we have seen the concept of algebraic multiplicity and geometric multiplicity. So there are examples in which eigenvalue is repeated two times, therefore the algebraic multiplicity is 2, but the corresponding linearly independent eigenvector which you obtain is only 1, therefore the geometric multiplicity for such eigenvalue is only 1. So there may be the different cases, but one thing is geometric multiplicity never exceed the algebraic multiplicity. That is the main thing to remember from this topic. So this is the topic for today's lecture. These are the references. Thank you.